Snow-capped mountains, don't they look wonderful, eh? And they're even better from the seat of a bike, because I've ridden over the Alps into Italy and it's a fantastic experience. In fact, I've ridden all over Europe, even made it to the Czech Republic once. But how would you fancy doing 20,000 miles in a month? Now, overall, I've probably done 400,000 miles in my biking lifetime, which is a hell of a lot. That's to the moon and back. But mileage is like 20,000 miles in a month, over 620 miles a day, is nothing to one man. I'm going to see him, and I'll tell you this, he can still sit down. So who is this man, you're wondering? Well, let me give you a little bit more background information. In fact, I've had to put it on a clipboard because there's so much of it. He's someone who cycled around the world in 1981 and he got the Guinness World Record for that. He did it in 138 days on a bicycle. He did 4,100 miles cycling down the Nile. You getting warm yet? For 6 years he was a hot air balloon pilot. He also took a couple of narrowboats from the Black Country to the Black Sea. Now that's a strange thing to do, isn't it? 1992 saw him taking an Enfield on a world tour. Then in 1997, and I'll bet you get it now, he took a Triumph Daytona and became the fastest man around the world. Again, a Guinness World Record. 19,930 miles in 31 days. That's some record. Then in 1999, he did a top of the world tour where he took 15 unsuspecting bikers up to Alaska. Who is this man? It's Nick Sanders. Nick, that's a hell of a busy schedule I've just gone through.
Yeah.
But listen, before I start, who's the young fellow on your back there, chewing a bit of grass?
It's my boy number 2, Juno. Yeah, we've got two boys.
So you do have some time off then?
I do occasionally get a bit of time off to play with my wife, yes.
Going through, I'll put a load of... I don't normally actually do this, but you've had such an involved life. I thought if I don't drop this down in some sort of order, we'd be all over the place. But your schedule, it made me think, is this a job that you've got, or is it a hobby? I mean, are you the sort of biking equivalent of Sir Ranulph Fiennes, you know, this inveterate explorer man?
Well, I've been biking and bicycling and adventuring for 20 years, you know, Jeff. It certainly isn't a hobby. It's a job which I love doing. So, you know, and I've just been earning a living from it. I've been very commercial about it, you know, since I started in 1981. And as for Ranulph Fiennes, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, the British have a problem with it. They just sort of publicise, you know, Arctic explorers, don't they? And,
that's right. And he's a sir, after all. You're not a sir
absolutely.
yet.
We have, yeah, I'm not a sir. I don't suppose I ever will be.
Look, you started back in 1981, as you say, 20 years ago. What actually started you on this? You know, what made you think, oh, I think I fancy going around the world on a bicycle?
Well, I think it's because really I hadn't travelled a great deal as a child. You know, my parents were very ordinary people and they never went anywhere. My dad went to Paris once for a long weekend.
Yeah.
So I kind of overcompensated really, and I sort of thought, well, you know,
big time.
Yeah, I thought I'd like to go around the world, which I did in 81. I bicycled around the world, and I never stopped since. And subsequently, I've been through about 60 countries, and I get on very well with people. You know, I don't have problems, generally speaking, and if I do, I usually know how to get out of it.
When you cycled around, had you already got a bike licence? Because I've always had it in my head that you must have been a cyclist first, then a biker.
No, I've been biking ever since I had a 190 step through, that kind of stuff, and then I had an MZ250 and belted all over the country with it. And then I got an Enfield, a 500 Bullet.
Yeah.
And no, I've been biking as long as I've been cycling.
Yeah.
It's just that I was never really commercial about the biking. I never got into the magazines and stuff. I really had another agenda at the time. But
yeah, you loved biking for what it was.
Oh yes, absolutely. I was always on my bike, and I'd put my dog in the back of my Enfield, and we'd go up and down the M1, God knows how many times.
And when you were on the Enfield, you went for a world record then, didn't you? Missed it, am I right?
Well, not really. No. With the Enfield, I mean, I bicycled around the world in 79 days.
Yeah.
And that was a Guinness record.
All right.
But with the Enfield journey, no. It's just because... Right, Mummy, come over, Mummy, please. Just grab hold of him.
It's only because he's crying a bit. Where were we? Yes, so you've done the cycle bit, you're on your Enfield.
The Enfield journey wasn't a record at all. It was just, you know, what you want to do when you get a motorbike. Well, for me, I wanted to bike around the world. Yeah. So I went through about 38 countries and 29,000 miles. Wow. And it was wonderful. I was just basically learning my trade.
Yeah.
Learning how to freight a bike, learning how to get out of difficult customs situations. And I went to Egypt when I was in Cairo. I had to go through something like 52 different offices to get my bike exported out of Cairo.
So it's just as bad as they say it is, really, when you get in some of these countries.
Well, it can be,
bureaucracy.
Yeah. I mean, when I was going around the world on my Triumph, the bike got stuck in Dubai for 3 or 4 days, and you know, at that point, I was getting more expert. what I was doing, but even
Now, look, you're jumping me along on my questions here.
Sorry, Jeff. No, carry on.
But now you've touched on the Triumph. I think it was intriguing to a lot of people. I've got a soft spot for Triumph anyway, but I thought Triumph Daytona as a round-the-world bike, it didn't seem the bike I'd naturally choose, you know. So why did you pick that with the low bars and, you know, a sports bike for one?
Well, certainly I used to be a racing cyclist, so I like the sports bike position to lean over the handlebars, you know, and I felt that I needed almost to race around the world. I mean, keeping within speed limits and stuff, but I certainly had to feel I was, you know, competing.
Yeah.
The Triumph was a good bike. I mean, it's a British bike, so I wanted to support them at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and whilst the Daytona was kind of the end of the line, really, you know, they were moving on to new things. They were just developing the 595, but they felt it was too experimental to give to me.
Yeah.
And so I set off with that. And retrospectively, whilst I think it's quite a classic bike, funny enough, it was quite top heavy and it was a bit of a tank to drive around, but it did it, and it never broke down once.
No,
you know.
it's fantastic. One of the things, you know, combined with sort of choosing a bike and whatnot, but how do you go about planning a thing like this? I mean, where did it all start? You think, right, I'm going to do another round the world thing. I wouldn't know where to start, really. I suppose you pick the countries first, or pick a route, or...
Well, yes,
or is it such a big subject this would take 3 programmes alone?
It is quite a big subject, really. I try and keep things simple, you know, and it's very much an instinctive thing. I just kind of instinctively know where to go. Also, I keep half an eye out on the political, you know, framework and the news and stuff, and I know where to go.
Keep out of the war zones.
You bet, and where you can't go.
Now, you're just saying that you have to clear this with the Guinness people, then, do you? For you know, getting this sort of, I'm going to fly across that bit. So it all has to be recorded that that's what you're going to do, because it's not strictly sort of round the world on a motorbike if you're flying chunks, is it?
That's right, yeah. Guinness have about 20 different sort of, you know, rules about what you can and can't do to standardise it because of these political problems. They don't want people going off and copying what I'm doing, if you like, and then getting into real problems in Kurdistan, you know. So, you know, you obviously have to go around the world. You have to cover 18,000 miles. You have to go to antipodal points, which is, for example, Madrid, as opposed to Wellington on the other side of the world. You clearly have to use the same bike. You have to go round one way, and you know, get round as quickly as you can.
And how's it checked off? I mean, if you do a little rally in England, they might hand in your petrol receipts and take a photograph of the local landmark. I mean, what do you do? How do they know you've been where you have been?
Well, in the early days, you know, you could get a thumbprint from some Indian, you know, in a restaurant or a cafe, or you get a McDonald's stamp or whatever you like, you know. That would have worked, and passport stamps and things. But now it's a lot more technical. You know, I took a GPS satellite sort of link on the back of my last bike, the mobile bike, and that linked to a passing satellite every hour. I think it was 4 minutes past the hour, and it had to be within a kind of 17-degree sector or something like that. It's very technical, but they got a link back home and they knew exactly where I was, so there's no chance of cheating. I mean, it's not that I would really, but there's no chance anyway of sticking it on train and...
So this is the high-tech bit, catching up with the sort of the real fundamental essence of biking, isn't it? The simple life, really, man and machine in an environment, but you've got all this high-tech gizmo with you now if you want to do a world record. Yeah?
Absolutely, and increasingly so, you know. I mean, I know in the future we're going to be developing this element of my adventuring.
Yeah, and it brings me on to another thing, because these things, I think we've all watched you on your antics. You've filmed them yourself, haven't you? Which I often think is incredible, because I know you haven't had a crew with you. I know Henrietta's been with you on some shoots.
Yeah.
But in the main, it's you, isn't it? Holding the camera. Is that right? Is that a secret to people?
No, not at all. No, I do it like this, you know. Here I'm talking to camera.
Here we are on top of the world. Yeah.
No, it's great fun actually. I really enjoy it, because also I have a feel for what I think motorbikers want to see, you know, of an adventure kind of thing, you know, and I think, well, what would they like to see here? What do they want me to talk about?
You've had these fantastic shots of you coming through a pass or across a desert, and I thought, you'd left the camera on the side of the road. I mean, have you lost any of these things, or have you forgotten one, did it?
Yeah, I remember doing that in New York actually. I had to be very careful that someone didn't leg it with a camera.